If someone ever tries to bully your family, especially your kid, you better believe there's always a way to fight back. Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into a story where a Karen tried to ban a little boy's wheelchair ramp until she met the wrong family. The summer sun had barely risen when Daniel Carter tightened the final bolt on the new wooden wheelchair ramp attached to the front porch of his home. To anyone else, it looked like an ordinary Saturday morning project. But to Daniel, it was a lifeline. His 9-year-old son, Liam, had survived a terrifying accident just 2 months earlier, one that left him temporarily unable to walk. Doctors said recovery would take almost a year, so Daniel did what any father would do. He prepared his home. He made it safe for his child. He built the ramp himself, staying up late after work, sanding every edge, measuring every angle, because he wanted his son to feel independent again. But just as he stepped back to admire the finished structure, a shadow appeared on the sidewalk. Short, wide stance, hands on hips, the posture of someone who believes the earth revolves around their property line. Karen, the self-appointed enforcer of the Willow Ridge HOA. A woman who patrolled the neighborhood like she was guarding Fort Knox. But really, she just had too much free time and no hobbies other than making other people's lives miserable. She cleared her throat loudly. "Mr. Carter," she barked. "You have constructed an unauthorized external addition." Daniel turned slowly. "Good morning, Karen." "It won't be a good morning for long," she hissed. "That ramp must be removed immediately." Daniel blinked, thinking surely she was joking. "It's for my son. You know what happened. He needs this." But Karen didn't care. HOA guidelines clearly state all structures visible from the street require pre-approval. You did not request approval, so it must go. Daniel tried to stay calm. "It's a wheelchair ramp. It violates aesthetics," she snapped back, "and lowers property values." The words hit Daniel like a punch. Property values. That was her concern. Not a little boy recovering from trauma. Not the medical hardship. Not the family doing their best. Property values. She walked off smugly, saying, "You have 48 hours before fines begin." Daniel stood there frozen, anger choking him. Liam wheeled onto the porch behind him. "Dad, is she mad about my ramp?" Daniel forced a smile. "No, buddy. Don't worry." But inside he was boiling. He called the HOA office. No help. He emailed the board. No reply. He attended the next meeting. Karen shut him down, waving papers he'd never seen before, claiming he violated multiple codes. He tried everything, and every door closed. Every voice sided with her. Every attempt failed, until he made one last phone call. To his brother. His older brother, Michael Carter, a disability rights attorney with a reputation that made corporations tremble. "Send me everything," Michael said. "Every email, every notice, every threat." He stayed up all night reviewing it. And when he finally called Daniel back, his voice was cold, focused, lethal. "Daniel, what she's doing isn't just wrong. It's illegal." And that is where everything changed. The next morning, Karen strutted through the neighborhood like a rooster who thought she owned the barnyard. She carried a clipboard, camera, and a tape measure. She marched right up to the ramp and began photographing it. Every angle like she was documenting a crime scene. Daniel watched from the front window, fists clenched. But he didn't go out to confront her. Not today. Not yet. 'Cause today was Michael's day. At precisely 10:14 a.m., a black SUV pulled up to the house. Michael stepped out, suit crisp, expression carved from granite. He was the kind of man who didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. People folded under his silence. When he saw Karen measuring the ramp, he smirked slightly. "Perfect timing," he muttered. He walked straight toward her. "Can I help you?" Karen snapped, rolling her eyes at him. "Yes," Michael said calmly. "You can stop harassing my brother." Karen scoffed. "And you are." Michael opened his briefcase and handed her a paper. "My name is Michael Carter, ESQ, and that is a formal legal notice informing you that your actions violate the Americans with Disabilities Act, state housing laws, and 3 federal accessibility regulations. Karen froze. For the first time, doubt flickered across her face. "This is an HOA community," she stammered. "HOAs are not above federal law," he replied. "And neither are you." He leaned in slightly. "And just to be clear, taking photos of a disabled minor without consent? That's harassment. Fines? Illegal. Demanding removal of a medically necessary accessibility structure? Discrimination." Karen's mouth opened and closed like a goldfish gasping for air. I was just enforcing rules." "No," Michael said. "You were abusing power." He handed her a second document. "This is a cease and desist. Failure to comply will result in a lawsuit. And the damages will be substantial." Karen backed away like she'd seen a ghost. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Because word of the legal notice spread fast. And by the time the next HOA board meeting arrived, everyone was there. The community room buzzed with tension. Karen sat at the head table, pale and trembling, pretending to shuffle papers. Michael and Daniel entered together. The room fell silent. Michael stood. His voice was calm, measured, but every word landed like a hammer. He explained the ADA violations. He presented documentation. He read emails where Karen mocked the ramp. He played voicemails where she threatened daily fines. He exposed every single lie. When he finished, the room erupted. Parents shouted. Neighbors argued. Board members whispered furiously. Finally, the HOA president pounded the table. "Karen, is this true?" She didn't answer. Everyone already knew. So the president turned to Daniel, shame in his voice. "Mr. Carter, on behalf of the entire HOA, we sincerely apologize. They reversed all violations, destroyed all fines, approved the ramp permanently, and announced mandatory sensitivity and ADA compliance training for all board members. But the final blow? Karen was removed from the HOA committee, and the state opened an investigation into her conduct. She resigned in humiliation, stopped patrolling the neighborhood, stopped harassing families, and for the first time in years, Willow Ridge felt peaceful. As for Liam, he regained mobility slowly. Every day he rolled down that ramp with a smile, a ramp that symbolized something bigger now, that no bully, no matter how loud, could overpower family, love, or the law.